Hi everyone. I just finished having bilateral endoscopic carpal tunnel release surgery. I had it about 8 hours ago. Pain honestly hasn't been too bad. I took one Tylenol with hydrocodone 30 minutes after surgery, and about 4 hours later I took 400 milligrams of ibuprofen, and I really haven't been in any pain at all. Before I continue, I just want to say be patient with me. I might forget what I want to say, and I have a lot of things I want to say, so I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Secondly, I just wanted to say I'm making this video of my experience and of my progression to full recovery because I want to give I want to give an overview of someone's experience who considers themselves to be athletic, someone who plays sports constantly, someone who lifts weights. I know there's a lot of reviews. There's a lot of reviews online, not reviews, but people's overview of their experience, and but all the ones that I watched didn't really said that they played sports or how it affected their weightlifting or their or any of their activities that they do outside or any stuff like that. So I just wanted to see if I could give all the other athletes, active people, weightlifters, a view of my experience and of my recovery. So anyways, I want to first start off with my experience with my ulnar nerve transposition. Now, it might not make sense, but all of this kind of relates. My freshman year, which was about 8 years ago in high school, I had an ulnar nerve transposition. I played baseball all my life, and one day during practice it just kind of slipped, and so they brought it fell under this funny bone. They brought it back above, put some fat or some muscle, I'm not really particularly sure which one, but they put it on top of the nerve to kind of keep it held in place, and it didn't hold up because I played another 3 years of baseball and it fell back, but it didn't, for some reason it didn't affect me as bad as the first time. I was able to continue playing, and actually it wasn't until last year, which was 7 years after that first surgery, that I decided that the pain was too much. I was having tons of pain in my forearm, and I started having pains in my wrists and my fingers, and it just got really bad to the point where I decided I needed to have that ulnar nerve moved back. So for the second surgery, we did an ulnar nerve submuscular transposition. What they do is they detach this flexor or forearm muscle right here from where the elbow is. They bring the ulnar nerve back up top, and then they reattach that flexor muscle, and it holds the ulnar nerve, and it can never come out unless I tear that flexor muscle, which is probably impossible. But yeah, that was a pretty tough recovery. I guess since they detached the muscle, it took a lot longer for me to recover. I consider myself a fast. I think I heal really fast from injuries and whatnot. I've had a lot. Sucks. But yeah, so my doctor thought that this ulnar nerve could have been causing pain to my wrist and to my hands. So we wanted to so instead of he knew that I probably did have carpal tunnel, but he wanted to make sure that this ulnar nerve wasn't causing this. Instead of just cutting this arm all up and doing carpal tunnel release and the ulnar nerve transposition, he just decided to say, let's do this first, and if it doesn't fix it, then we'll go back and do carpal tunnel, but I don't want to do carpal tunnel release if I don't need to. So I was on board with that. I'm sorry if I used too many words to explain that. But yeah, so after a year of this transposition, I started lifting weights. I'm able to play all my sports and whatnot. It wasn't until about 3 weeks ago when my carpal tunnel and actually both carpal tunnel in both of my hands got very bad, especially my right hand. It got to the point where I couldn't couldn't shake people's hands, hard to open jars. Like I said, I don't know if I don't know if I said it, but I lift weights since I can't play baseball anymore. I know weightlifting isn't a sport, but it's basically my sport now. Yeah, and it's been terrible lifting. My max on bench is 265. And now this past week I could barely do 135. Pull-ups, dips, nope, couldn't do any of those. Basically, I was stuck to the cable machines. I could do some tricep work, some tricep work because I didn't have to bend my wrist. I couldn't play basketball, I couldn't throw a baseball or softball. Throwing a frisbee sucked. I tried playing competitive racquetball. I played in a couple of tournaments, and I just haven't really been able to play racquetball at all because you really need to snap or flick your wrist. And every time I tried to do that, that was like hell. So I couldn't do that. Basically, couldn't do anything. I really didn't have a decision on having this surgery because I couldn't do anything enjoyable, and so I opted to have the surgery. Like I said, this hand was hurting too, but definitely not as bad as this. But I just wanted to get it done with because I knew at some point I was gonna have to have it done, and my doctor thought it was a good idea. So we got both of them done. Now onto the subject of I've read a lot of reviews about doing bilateral or getting your endoscopic carpal tunnel release at the same time is like bad, or it's very hard to deal with, and honestly it hasn't been too bad at all. I do have my dad helping me out with stuff, but I mean he's only helping me out with cooking, opening the car door, and driving. I can do everything else by myself. Putting on a shirt, okay, I do have him help me with that, but sorry about that, I had an itch. Like putting on my shorts, socks, everything else I do by myself. I don't know, when I read the reviews online, people made it sound like they were fully disabled, and I don't feel that. I can move both of my hands, I could kind of almost make a fist, I could pick up my phone by myself, the remote. I could open some doors. Typing's not bad. I could feed myself. I do need him to cook for me, like I said. I could read a book. So yeah, I mean, you will need someone to help you out with cooking and driving you around. But if you don't need to drive anywhere, or it really isn't that bad. Like I said, I mean. I think the best decision, if you have both of them, if you have someone lend a hand, it's best to do that bilateral. Especially if you're active like me, you just don't want to get back in shape and then have to have the surgery on the left hand or on the right hand, and then get back out of shape and then get back in shape again. It's a tiring cycle that you could just avoid if you just do both of them at the same time. What else do I want to say? So yeah, I'll be keeping y'all updated with my progress through my physical therapy, through my progression to recovery. When I start lifting weights, what it feels like to start lifting weights, what it feels like to start playing racquetball again, just all that good stuff. Oh, and if you're wondering how I got carpal tunnel so young, well, I did play a lot of video games, and I mean a lot when I was in high school, 4 or 5 hours straight playing video games. Guitar Hero, that game's awesome, but it can destroy your hands, especially if you play the real guitar at the same time, like I was doing. Also, what I didn't know that could cause carpal tunnel was a lot of your forearm exercises where you it's hard for me to twist my arm, but where you curl in, and you build this part of the forearm muscle. As you build this part of the forearm muscle, it kind of makes your muscles pull your hand in, which puts pressure on the carpal tunnel. And I did a lot of those exercises for baseball, and I mean those exercises are they're extremely helpful for strong hands, for hitting, especially for throwing. When you snap your wrist, you get some more velocity on the ball, and just like hitting through the ball, it helps your forearm muscles help, especially when you're hitting opposite field and you need to really have the strong hands. And so that's one of the muscle groups that I focused on in high school. But I did do some exercises to build up this part of your forearm, but I did not focus as much as I did on hitting the inside part of the forearm. It's definitely something you need to do. Doing forearm exercises isn't bad, but you need to counter it with the forearm exercises that build this top part. That way those muscles pull back your hand, and your hand isn't like this, and your carpal tunnel isn't getting squashed. Weightlifting, even writing tons of papers for school, constantly typing, playing video games. You don't realize it, but it all adds up. So that's kind of what happened to me, and I don't regret it. I love playing games with my cousins and lifting weights and getting my best as I can at baseball and pushing myself. So yeah, well, I'll keep y'all updated.